Hey guys, it's Nivean here, bringing you 7 tips to becoming a better raid leader. When my guild fell apart in Mr. Pandaria, I decided to start my own raid team through Open Raid, and since then I've been lucky enough to build a team that raids 2 days per week with full 30-man rosters on both. This video will be more focused on the normal and heroic groups out there, but a lot of these tips can be applied to mythic teams too. Many of the things that I'll bring up will focus more on the soft side of raid leading, as in how to manage and deal with people and how to look out for potential problems within your team. But maybe you're a raid leader now and you're looking to improve, or maybe you're a budding raid leader looking to start your own team, but hopefully you'll find something that you can apply. Well, that's about enough for the intro, so let's get on with it. Tip 1 is don't be a dick. We've all heard the 50 DKP minus meme, and chances are everyone's had a good laugh at it. However, in my opinion, if you're ever brought to the point where you're yelling at your raid team, then you've done something wrong as a leader. Everyone will make mistakes, and helping your raiders learn and overcome them is part of your role. You need to be able to communicate in a cool and calm style with your team at all times, otherwise you will promote an atmosphere of hostility in your group. You are human though, it's absolutely fine to drop a couple of swear words off mic when things start going wrong, but whether you like it or not, your actions as raid leader will set an example to the rest of your team. If your team hears you talk to them badly, then they'll think it's okay to talk to each other badly too. Tip 2. Praise in public. If someone in your raid makes that last second soak that prevented a wipe, or that clutch interrupt that you didn't think anyone was going to get, then let them know they've done a good job. This promotes a positive atmosphere in your team and lets your raiders know that you notice when they do well. You don't need to congratulate the top DPS or healer every fight, after all someone's going to be first on the meters, but look out for when your raiders go above and beyond. Tip 3. Criticise in private. If someone in your team is consistently making mistakes, reprimanding them in front of the rest of the team may cause them to go on the defensive and can create a negative relationship with that person. I always try to give someone like that a whisper or talk to them in voice chat away from the rest of the team. They could just not understand the mechanic and are too nervous to speak up in front of the rest of the team. Tip 4. Try and keep people in the roles that they want to play. People playing roles they do not want to play are not happy people and can lead to serious burnout. Keep an eye out for inconsistent attendance or people only playing their raiding character during raids. It's not always going to be possible for you to accommodate every switch that comes up, but try and come up with solutions when you can. Like for example, if you have a DPS player that wants to tank during progression, you could ask them to consider bringing their tank character as DPS with a plan to switch to tank if a space comes up. When you have the content on farm, maybe they could swap with one of your progression tanks so they could both get a change of role. I would wager that your progression tank wouldn't mind seeing the fights from a DPS perspective. Tip 5. Find the strategy that works for your team. There are many places on the internet that are going to tell you how to execute each boss fight. However, it is down to you to make sure that you find the strategy that works for your team. Delaying that heroism, or maybe moving the boss to a different position, may not be what the YouTube guide tells you to do, but if it's what gets you the kill and what works for you, then don't be scared to switch things up. I've had a few members of my team tell me, well, my old team used to do this fight differently. And I always say, yeah, I'm sure that was fine, but we have to do what works for us. Tip 6. You can ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. In my raids, I'm a tank and quite often have to call out stuff for the other tank. But while I'm doing this, it's easy for me to miss something like a Soul Blight on orb on Argus not being moved correctly. Asking one of your more capable raiders to help you making calls during the fight is absolutely fine and it does not diminish you as a raid leader. In fact, it might even help with the positive atmosphere that I've mentioned already. Your raiders will be happy that you trust them enough to help you run the raid. Do set boundaries though. If your raid assistant starts contradicting you or doing anything else you do not feel comfortable with, apply rule 3 and talk to them privately about it. And tip 7. Be realistic with your start and your finish times. It will be down to you to make sure the invites to your raid go out in time to make your intended start time. I always ask my people to be online around 15 minutes before the raid starts to format the group and cover any potential no-shows. If they need a little time to finish real life stuff, then they've got another 15 minutes before the raid starts to do so. It will also fall to you to make sure that your raids finish at a realistic time. It's fine to extend for 5 or 10 minutes past the finish time if it gets you a kill, but don't be afraid of finishing 5 or 10 minutes early if you know that you've got another 5 or 10 minutes of trash clearing before you even get to the next boss. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope that some of these tips could be of use. If you have any specific questions about raid leading or any other comments, then please leave them in the comments below or contact me using the social media links that are in the video description. If you're interested in seeing more World of Warcraft content from me, then make sure you subscribe. But in the meantime, happy raiding.